Excuse me. Sorry about the long silence, everybody. I had some people say that they wanted me to shuffle the cards, so typically I don't like to do that, but I understand why people want to see it. So it's a little bit long and drawn out. I will try to probably speed it up in fast motion or something, just so it doesn't take up so much time on the videos. So you have 3 decks here. It's a pick a card reading for September. 3 decks. I have laid them all out. I did take them off of camera and then switch them around. So, if some cards flipped up that I selected for the piles that you don't know where they are. There are, I'll just go through. I'm using karma cards. These karma cards are pretty old school. They've been around for a while. And they're by Farber, the last name Farber. So if you want to look those up. They have a new edition. This is an old edition. My friend must have got this at a yard sale or something. It's just basically an astrology card set. I'm also using the Pure Magic Oracle deck, Rockpool Publishing House, by Andres and Gracia. I'm using the Grand Tableau Lenormand cards, Los Scarabæos interpretation of the Mademoiselle Lenormand, her original cards. And I am using the Pamela, I believe it's Pamela Greer. Maybe not. Nope, it's the Hanson Roberts. Ha ha ha. It's the Hanson Roberts deck by Hanson and Roberts. You know those people. So, and then I got a new deck I want to introduce. This is my first Animal Oracle deck. The Bestiary. I feel like it should be Bestiary, but it says Bestiary. Oracle cards, and they're beautifully illustrated. I would do a quick review. Actually, I'll just do a little quick review here. Love these cards. There's a little bit of repeats with them that I don't really care for too much. I think that they could have not put 3 different types of owls in the one deck. I do love owls. But and there's also like a couple other things that, like, they didn't have a bat in there. I love having a bat tarot card. I feel like that's really cool, or oracle card. I will say these cards are beautiful. If I'm not gonna go through them all. There's other YouTubers that have gone through this already. I do love the shininess of the box set is so nice. Just put the pop off like that. Anyway, so that's the new deck that we got. All right, so I'm gonna stop this here and give you a moment to pick the pile that suits you. The first pile we have Lapis Lazuli, and the pile number 1 is Lapis Lazuli. Pile number 2 is an amethyst heart. You can see it better with the light on it. Pile number 3 is the tiger's eye. All right, this will be September's energies, or whenever the September's energies are resonant. They're supposed to be involving your life, or in your life, or going on. Timeless, of course, because you can't really put time on tarot. But, all right. See you on the other side. Pile number 1, Lapis Lazuli. Can everybody see everything? I think I'm gonna do it this way. There we go. That's better. So this Lapis Lazuli, it's not the most beautiful one I've seen. Got it from one of those bins, you know, but it's having to do with the third chakra of communication and the crown chakra, I believe, and the third eye. So this helps you open up to universal ideas and concepts and be able to speak about them. It also helps you with your own communication blockages, or it's also got a confidence boost from the gold. I feel like the gold is, it's actually pyrite that's mixed in there, hidden in there, I believe. And so there's a manifestation here as well of things with the verbal communication, so, and ideas and concepts. So careful what you think about this month. It could heavily affect what's going on in the cards or how you talk about things. Your Lenormand say that there's a message coming in that could slip its way in through the back door almost. Maybe a piece of mail that you've lost, but you'll find it and just, you're like, oh, how did that get in here and get in this place? It could have some unpleasant news in it. I'm not gonna lie. The snake card is usually a card of unpleasantries of all kinds. It can be literally a snake. It can mean dangerous things like poison and stuff, not to get you worried about that. Most of the time, it can actually mean a woman with brown hair and glasses. So it's a message, a written message from a woman with brown hair and glasses. This could actually be news about her. You're getting in the, this could actually be a newspaper that you read something about, something awful that happened. But I'm going to keep going further here. Your major arcana from the tarot, before I get into the oracle cards, is the Hermit, the card of Virgo. And this is a card of going on a spiritual pilgrimage, off alone, taking time out because you choose to do so, because you're looking for something with spiritual substance in your life. And because you've done this, you have weathered some storms along the way, and that's what's made you feel the need to go off on your own. However, it's not a card of just loneliness. It is a card of, it's the Hermit. He's a grumpy old man. Most of the time we think of a hermit or a grumpy woman. A hermit that lives out in the woods, that's wise, that's lived off the land for a very long time, doesn't need the outside world as much as the outside world might need what they have here in their lantern, which is the hope and the information, the spiritual enlightenment that they've gained from going quiet and being alone. So there is this theme that you will be focusing on the details of something having to do with your own internal world, and maybe not taking to what's external to you as much, but leaving the light in the window for somebody who may be traveling along that wants to understand what you've learned along the way. So, news that's upsetting of some kind. You're learning to speak your truth with the stone that you've picked. And you are speaking your truth in a quiet way. You're not shoving it down people's throats. And your oracle cards, there's this spiritual, numerological flavor to the first card from the Andres Ingracia deck, Pure Magic deck. Herbal craft is regeneration, plant medicine, caretaker, bloomer. You very well may be one of those outdoorsy people. Then the reason I'm saying this is because we have a lot of animal imagery that would speak to outdoors. I mean, animals are outdoors, but this type of snake and the owl, the snake and the owl are also a food chain. You know, they're the cycle of life. The owl hunts the snake. If the snake is venomous, it bites the owl, and it goes on and on. But with herbal craft being a plant life and medicine card, and the little owl representing wisdom as well as the wisdom of the hermit. These are both big wisdom cards, and the King of Swords as well. There is a great deal of information that you either have or are obtaining from the natural world. And with this natural world being so informative, there could have been news of something dangerous within that as well. You might have been looking for dealing with some snakes in your backyard if you live in an area with snakes that are dangerous, if provoked. So there is this element of medicine as well. So this could be, even if you've been watching shows on antivenom, how they make it. There's a new information coming about poisons that could be healed through a new form of wisdom as well. So the little owl represents the goddesses, there's a few of them. Artemis, Athena. Athena is represented typically by the owl, the little owl. And she's the goddess of war, right? So Artemis is also represented by the owl, but it's more for her night vision because she is the goddess Diana, the goddess of the moon in the night. She's also the goddess of witchcraft in a lot of traditional cultures. The owl also represents witchcraft, and the owl can also represent Lilith. For those of you with an Abrahamic point of view, Lilith is the mother of demons, or the first wife of Adam, that did not want to be subservient to Adam and went off on her own to be a queen of darkness. But here, depending on how you personally resonate with those goddesses, I just see being at home at night and working on something that would be helpful to many, or there is this spell crafting kind of thing going on, because we have, maybe you're working with poisonous plants for the first time. I just be careful, obviously. There's some sort of medicine that is coming from something that might have been unfortunate or unpleasant. And there's wisdom here, so there's lots of learning that's gone into this, or will go into this. The little owl, he may be little, but he can go in places that others can't. He can see in the dark when others can't, and the nighttime is very present here. We see the moon, and also the crescent moon is a representation of Diana. So, and these pots are very Roman as well. So we see Athena, Diana, more so than we see Lilith, but very possible because the snake, the serpent, is also representative of Lilith. And she is represented under the sign of Pluto, which you do have here in your astrology cards. So whatever you're pulling from that. Your tarot cards, I've read the major arcana in them, but this is about you getting clear about how you think about something. It denotes a good mental health as well, being balanced mentally, rationalizing what needs to be rationalized, and leaving room for new philosophies. He has a basis of his own philosophy, so he can relate to others' philosophies and kind of bounce ideas back off of them. His sword is double-sided, so he has the ability to do that. He has his internal light, he shines it without himself too. So he's able to take in new ideas and new concepts. He's never afraid of learning more, because he knows he's learned quite a bit, and he's always able to learn something new. The king understands that concept. But he is wise, there's a wisdom here. There's a wisdom of news of something that could be not so nice, or news from a woman with brown hair and glasses that's kind of unpleasant as well. Or she could be teaching you, this woman could be literally teaching you about plants and poisons and medicine. Night combat also comes up here. For those of you who are in the military, night combat is present because of the goddess Athena, and the nighttime flavor, and Pluto is kind of a dark, a darkness, a resurrection, do or die kind of, you must do or die situation. So war is kind of like that, although I wouldn't particularly put war just in the 8th house and with Pluto, but there are other things. So you could have gotten news that someone close to you got injured in war, as well. There could have been somebody that got injured being in the military. There is an essence of like being able to communicate about the not so great things. There's also an interest or a wisdom that comes from the healing aspects of the not so great things, or plants or medicine in general. So this could be it could go spiritual, because there's 2 sevens here. So I see a great deal of spiritual energy coming up through this. Also, out of the box thinking or relationships could come into play. So being able to communicate desires as well, your deepest desires, finally having your truth, being able to speak your truth about, you know, what you want to do, about things that you're interested in. Because wands are interests, right? Except for like pentacles are actual interests that we've collected and made tangible, you know? But this is about our passions, right? And you're getting clear about what's ending in your life that's been really challenging. You're getting a solid grasp mentally on any pains that have come mentally into your life. A cycle is wrapping up. You might actually have had a situation come up where you didn't want to deal with something. You were avoiding an ending of some kind, and it came in, and finally it was like, there is no other way around me dealing with this. I just have to accept. There's this acceptance and a wisdom that comes with the acceptance of something ending. That was very challenging. But the good thing about the Ten of Swords is that specific challenge will not happen again. We've learned that lesson. We've gone through that pain and that turmoil of whatever that situation was. Whether it's a job ending, whether it's, you know, mental health things that, you know, we had to go to the doctors, or a health issue that had a spike and it was painful, and then we go to the doctors and we start taking care of it so it doesn't happen again. There's, you know, this is the end. It's as if you know what you got to do, and you got to stick the last knife in the dead horse and end it, because you've gotten clear on everything that's going on. Okay? Also, this could have been news about somebody else having a bad ending and going through a hard time in your life. And this person would have still be struggling and having weathered many storms. This person's ending could have also been very painful for you for whatever reason. So you might be recuperating and recovering. There's a solitude here as well with the Hermit card. So you might have definitely gone through something that was very challenging, painful. The cycle is over. That will not happen again. But I feel like you're taking a bit of that mental snapshot of what happened back then, and or, you know, however long ago it was, if it was in the recent past, and you're going forward having learned lessons from that situation, but also being a little bit on guard. That's why I say the military thing. If you're coming home and you're trying to figure out what to do with your life, animal medicine could be very helpful to you in many different ways. Whether it's the spiritual aspects of animal medicine, or being literally a veterinarian. If you have snakes or wild animals for pets, this also denotes that as well. Not recommending anybody get a tiger and put it in their living room, but you know what I mean. What you've been through was made you wiser, and also any broken parts of you, any broken parts of your psyche, any broken parts of your body, they will heal with more strength. And being alone at this time is a choice. and you're maybe becoming that wise person that shows other people the way through a darkness. And the darkness is real because we got the snake. That's pretty dark. We've got nighttime going on in the herbal crafting section. So there's powers that be of the night. Little owl is also a night animal, night predator. We have the darkness of the Ten of Swords and the darkness of the Hermit. And we have Pluto here. And Pluto is the darkest of all the signs, right? It's like the planets. It's like the deepest, darkest, taboo, secret, mysterious things that go on. So you're learning to communicate about secrets that you have with the others in your life that you might have held on to for the entirety of your life as well. This can be dealing with PTSD. This can be dealing with any kind of past traumas. There's trauma here in the center of it all. There's wisdom that came from this, but this wasn't wisdom that was earned in a nice manner. You know what I mean? You've gone through something, or somebody around you's gone through something, and you've witnessed it, and you've gained experience and wisdom around it. That might be why you're being asked to experiment with medicine, experiment with the natural world and the animals, the information the animals can give us, the wisdom that you can gain from them. This might be a new thing for you. So the way these cards came up, I don't like to read them the way they come up, but there's like a Frankenstein thing as well here with the astrology card. So I would just be very there might be some mad science going on. Most of the time I see a lightning bolt off in the distance in one of these cards. Maybe that's just my brain telling me that, but the tower isn't here, so this has already happened. Whatever this is has already happened. Yeah, there's a resurrection of genius. So you're pulling from another place. That's maybe pulling from inner resources, taking the time out to discover a wealth of information inside of yourself. You might be somebody who likes to, is it like a risk taker or adrenaline junkie, in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to go off in a cabin and live on my own in the woods. I just watched a movie. It was a really intense movie too. I didn't quite like the ending, but I understand why some other people would. But Hunter, I don't know what it's on Hulu. And that reminds me of like this guy. He like was tough, you know. He lived off the land like people did like hundreds of years ago. It was in his family for generations, his properties, and he was just like, I'm unable to deal with the darkness of the natural world. Like, that's just nature, you know. The people are the real problem in the like new life, and he deals with that, and the family deals with that in new ways. He has some truth and wisdom from that. So there's wisdom to be gained from the natural world and being off on your own for a while. If you had a relationship that ended that you feel pretty battered and bruised up on, I see you, and it would have been a pretty toxic relationship if that was the case. I see you being able to use that for fuel for your lantern on your hermitage, your pilgrimage to finding more wisdom and spiritual enlightenment. After a time of pain and suffering, there's healing. You know, you're looking for that star. He's looking for that star, but he knows he's got it in the bag already. If you've dealt with chronic illness, it's another thing I want to say. Something spreading within the body or chronic illness, I find that you will find something that will help you, that is a natural homeopathic type of thing. It might not be purely natural or homeopathic, but there will be some kind of medicine that you find, or treatment that you find, that will be based on a natural remedy. There's a discovering here, a discovering of the body and sexuality as well. So and the snake is a very sexual kind of thing, sign too. So sexual health comes into mind. There are homeopathic things for any sexual issues as too, certain things. So you can look into that if you're having issues with that. Somebody might have stolen an idea from you as well, and which has made you break away from this person and feeling defeated, maybe, and kind of on guard, on defense. Don't worry. Whatever they took from you, they couldn't take the spark that you have that made it happen. So without that spark, that's really nothing. You won't be able to actually hone and bring it into fruition in the same way you would. So it wouldn't be as powerful or as you might be needing or feeling the need to control the way you see yourself or who you are. You might be going through like an identity crisis, in a sense of, after this experience, who am I now? Like, there might have been some enlightenment that came in, and you will have to decide or really come to grasp with the fact that you're changing from the experience. It could be that you're going through a time of great change with your physical body. You might be getting a little bit older. You might be experiencing new signs or symptoms or sensations, or just, getting to know your body as it's progressing in life. Any power struggles, you might want to use an unconventional way of going about dealing with them. An unconventional way of acting on them. So by that, I mean, maybe if you're always somebody who starts yelling at somebody back if you have a problem with them, maybe get quiet. The Hermit is a get quiet card. The Snake is a get quiet card. The Herbal Crafting is a quiet card. All of this is pretty quiet. The Owl, pretty quiet as well. They're stealthy when they fly at night. Also, the first house is the masks we wear in the world, right? The ascendant sign. If you have an ascendant sign that's Scorpio or Aquarius, I see like this really being a heavy hitter for you. Obsessions come into Scorpio as well. You might be obsessed with some new information. or there might be somebody that you've gotten obsessed with that you're desiring, that you're really wanting, and it's not working out the way you thought it was, so you're going off on your own, you know? A lot of the time we can build up these dreamy ideas and concepts in our head, but if we don't speak our truth on the matter, we don't make them real and tangible things, well, sometimes we can just end up being a stalker, right? Pluto would just be the ultimate stalker. It's so, not calling anybody a stalker that is, I don't want to insult anybody, but you're really going to have a hard time taking what you have learned, the wisdom that you've learned, and transmuting that into some physical, tangible thing, whether that be for healing purposes for your own life or someone else's, or learning how to there's a hunting here. I just feel the hunting movie and the hunting thing here. Trapping animals, trapping psychological trauma in order to release it. Pluto is a very psychological house. Projecting yourself onto others. Others might be projecting themselves onto you, which has led you to be alone, or feel like you have to go off on your own and not deal with these people anymore. My screen got frozen. I hope it's recording. So Pluto being the dark sign of other people's resources, power, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff. Aquarius being the geniusness, the ultimate connectedness, the alien, how we are all connected, like I said earlier. Restoring of hope through advancements with Aquarius as well. There's a restoring of hope with advancements. So if you are looking for something that will help you in terms of your physical body and any kind of surgeries, there is a restoration of hope through advancements with the physical body. So, and I see surgery here, I see recovery here, I see there's wisdom here, enlightenment being gained from seeing this. There's a doctor, a surgeon here. He can be a surgeon because he's got the knife, the sword. Very possible with that. Informations about the dangers of medicine, whether that be surgical medicine, seeing things from a higher perspective. I do love that little owl. He's so cute. Yeah. Darkness. Surgery is a deep, dark thing. So finding something inside, something dark, that's dark, something that we can't see, you have to dig through. This can be also the uncovering of new species. This can be the uncovering of ancient artifacts, history. And this kind of history would have been something that, you know, it was an archaeological dig, and the dig would have needed to. This will probably be shared on the internet, so you'll probably get wind of any kind of something that's on the internet, and it might affect you personally. There might be some kind of, some kind of practice, spiritual practice that you do. That this is the kind of culture that's involved with the spiritual practicing, that's traditional, that's come down all the way down to these days. It might be, if that didn't make sense, we'll go to the next one. It might be that there's something that, some kind of technology, medical technology that they find from ancient days that ends up helping us in our future today. Or we find medical technologies from the past that succeed what we thought they could do, that was possible. There's also an obsession with the future of the body, or the way people see the body. So don't get too crazy about any kind of practice or efforts that you are going to put forward in regards to healing the body, changing the body, transforming the body, because you want to do it in moderation. You don't want to get too crazy. That's another thing comes up here. I feel like if the more moderation you have, and the more, you do things in your own quiet time alone, the more results you will get. There's this almost wisdom and of quietness and patience with the Hermit as well. He holds the Star card within his lantern, and Aquarius is really represented by the Star card. So it's almost as if you're holding your vision. You don't care what other people think. You're doing the Galileo thing. Like, I don't care. The world is round. You people are a bunch of squares. And I'm going to do my thing. So whatever's happened that's ended, that's been maybe a school of thought, you didn't agree with it. You were kind of the rebel within the school of thought on something. And you just been kind of kicked to the side or made it insignificant. Or something bad happened within the community that you were part of, and they pushed you out. They did you a favor. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Have confidence in who you are. Nasty news, heal it with wisdom. Get clear that the endings in your life and the struggles that you still continue to face with those endings, they are what's holding you. Just need to hold your vision. You need to take that piece of fence and make it into a walking stick, or it's actually a stang. It's a wizard. He's a wizard now. He's gained the magical ability. He's gained the knowledge, so he has the power. And he's holding his vision so that he might have an apprentice. This is also Arthur, King Arthur here. The sword in the stone. He pulls the sword out. Wart. And whichever hag in the woods you run into, along the way, you've got the experience and the power to deal with them, and your innovations might be the future, and people might not see that yet. Don't get into power struggles with them. It's not even worth it. Do it on your own. Make sure you're careful about not projecting yourself onto others. It can be an easy thing to do sometimes if we're not being consciously aware of our actions and how we're coming across. And immediately isn't always the answer. The immediation of something can actually be, sometimes things take time. And it seems like you'll get more done if things are quiet this month in September. All right, pile number 1. I don't know if I can get too much more out of this, so I'm going to go. But I hope you have a great September, and I will see you in October. All right, pile 2, September pick a card reading. This is pile number 2. I will say that you've picked the lavender. The lavender. It's the color lavender, sort of. Amethyst. Pick the amethyst. Amethyst and lavender have similar properties, having to do with the third eye. And your Lenormand cards have to do with an expansion of your subconscious mind. This also could be a woman's growing of dreams that she has, or planting of seeds for dreams. I see psychic blossoming. I see plans, efforts, and dreams that have been that are being, the ground is being prepared for these to be planted and to grow into something else, something more. You psychically could be very much on point at this time. And I know that the moon is something that's associated with psychic intuition, which is the case. For sure, the moon has psychic, Dianic, there's whatever's dark, the moon brings the light out underneath. Oh, I'm having a hard time talking. You might have a hard time communicating psychic impressions that you're having, but you just feel them, and you know that there's something about to happen, or something that's coming to the surface in September for you. You're going to have to learn to appreciate this blossoming and how long it's been taking, and you'll be very connected to your ancestry as well. For those of you who have Indian, Southeast Asian, Egyptian ancestry, Celtic ancestry, and that's all I'm seeing right here. That doesn't limit it, though. You will be feeling very connected to your ancestral line, and maybe the practices, the ancient practices of those people. You may be learning about these things in a self initiated setting, whether it's joining an online class or researching and studying things yourself, digging deep into your roots. Expressing who you are and how it's taken this many people and this many years to get to where you are here in your life now. There might be a gift that you inherit that has to do with a spiritual gift from the ancestors. The signs, Taurus is coming in strong here, and Leo very strong. Aquarius, Pisces. These are all energies that are very strong within the reading. There's a form of luxury here having to do with the five senses. A practicality to experience. Seeds planted that your passion and your energy ends up making manifest. This is manifestation. Manifestation of luxury in your life, of being able to enjoy your efforts and hard work, all the things that you've been working on and planting. This would be a time where things start to show up for you. The work you've put into something starts to show up for you. You could be creating something that is taking quite some time. This could be a skill that you've been trying to, an artistic skill that you've been trying to like branch out and try new things. It's saying take your time and really perfect this process. And by perfecting the process, I don't mean be a perfectionist. I mean really enjoy getting there, because you're using your five senses, right? You're taking in the lapse of luxury, and whatever this is, you may be able to display it in your home. You'll be able to put it somewhere where people can see it, so you can show off a little bit. Let's get on to the astrology, and then I'll go back to the tarot. You have the High Priestess, though, for the tarot, which is a very psychic card. So this is very much a psychic, intuitive kind of blossoming and working on developing gifts. The sun being the opposite of the moon, it's almost as if through the balance of the divine masculine and divine feminine within you, you are able to achieve greater things and see the future of certain plans that you're putting into place now. You'll be expressing a side of yourself that others don't normally see. In a diplomatic way or a balanced way. You might be seeing the side of a partner that you normally don't see, and it may be something that they want you to know about them, and it could conflict with what you believed about them up until this point. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I do see a single woman here, and there's a quietness and a singleness to the High Priestess. Even though she's got the duality, she stands alone between the two worlds. So, but even then, she knows she's not alone. So, it's kind of like you'll be either working on a creative project that has some sort of dynamism to it, some kind of, there'll be fluctuations within the creative sphere of your life, maybe the ebb and flow of the creative process will be balanced this month, so you'll get more done. It could be that you are actually having a difficult time managing your creations and having to explain them to other people in your life. So if somebody is just like, well, what's going on with that? What are you doing here? What is this all about? You might have a difficult time explaining them, explaining what you're, and where you're coming from with things. You might also realize that you might realize that what you believed about somebody, a partnership in your life, it can be any partnership, might not be as fair of a deal as you thought so, and so you're going to be really kind of being the diplomat and making sure that there's cooperation and trying to come from a balanced place while you're in the middle of working on your manifestation. This is also a card of the sun is a planet, a star of leadership. And so there is leadership and communications here, having to do with the law. So any kind of legal work, if you are a judge, if you are a lawyer, if you are a somebody who works in the communications sector of life, very much the internet is present here with the stars, Lenormand card, and the Gemini, and the 7th house, because it's the relations between things. The stars is a card of relations between things that are connected, the connections between things that are spreading out or growing. So you will be having psychic downloads this month, for sure, that will help aid you in creating a new manifestation or working on an older manifestation and helping you connect the dots within that you might have been missing. Because I see that the stars above are also connecting this bull or cow, which is a very spiritual animal. And the pyramids were spiritual and are still considered a spiritual place and a mystery. So you're connected to the mysteries. I'm thinking of Betsy Ross for some reason. Having such a pivotal, something that could have seemed so mundane and practical that ends up being quite the history setter. A place in history has been being written by you for yourself. You're making, you're setting your place at the table of history. I see that within this enjoying of what you've earned, of what you have accomplished in your life, you'll be enjoying it and trying to share it, maybe looking to share it with somebody else, maybe, but being comfortable just being by yourself and in the admiration. You're also being admonized by others for whatever you're doing. And there'll be things communicated about this. People wanting to cooperate and partner with you on this. Relationships that come in from all of this. You'll be getting attention. The sun is the spotlight. Gemini is the twins that like to go party and communicate and are very chatty with everybody and can see both sides of the coin, both sides of the, the story, which makes them pretty well-rounded, in terms of their communication styles with other people. And that's what this is about. So you might feel like being alone is the best thing, starting out, just enjoying your success. Something is going to come in that's going to beckon you to a new beginning. And you might feel like this is something that has no real emotional substance to it. You are being asked to use your intuition to guide you in making a decision on what is going to be the most ideal and practical approach for you. The balance between idealism and practicality. And anything that seems surreal, you're really giving it a good shakeout with your intuition, because you'll be looking for the substance. You're a person of solid, tangible substance when it comes to your finances. But some things in life are not all that we can feel, All that glitters isn't gold, right? Sometimes money doesn't buy us happiness, right? So you might feel like you've gotten where you need to be, but there's something else that you might be starting to take a glimpse over your shoulder, a glimpse out that window just with one eye, just there's something out there. It doesn't, I don't think that particular thing is the thing that I want, but it's leading me up to using my imagination, what I know now, and connecting to what I believe to be my higher source. There is a darkness that might be alluring to some, but you're not falling for it. If people might think that you're kind of standoffish and kind of rude being by yourself. I mean, these people might be partiers. They might have had a couple of drinks in their day. Seven of Cups is about imagination, nostalgia, more of like over idealizing of things. There's like this Neptunian, cloudy, pie in the sky kind of feeling to this. When it's in reverse, a lot of the time for me, it comes out as we see the mirage and we can see through the BS. So you might, and when the cups are upside down like this, and often I find when I have an Ace of Cups that's upside down, you ever see that magic trick where the magician puts the balls under the cups and then he moves like one ball under the three cups and he's moving them fast, so you have to keep up and see where it lands? You'll know which cup to pick. You will know which cup to pick. And the 7 is a very spiritual number. The High Priestess is a very spiritual lady. And the Ace of Cups is also a very spiritual card in terms of it's a gift from the universe. So you're upturning or overturning a gift from the universe that you've had to really kind of cut through a lot of your imagination in regards to creating using it to create a tangible outcome for yourself in the mundane world. The High Priestess, she doesn't make a choice though. She sits between the veil and the reality of things. She sits between dimensions and reality. So she knows the secrets. And I feel like you'll be uncovering a secret this month about yourself that will help you in terms of your manifestation abilities and you showcasing your gifts and talents to the world. Possibly you might be expressing this at a party eventually, and someone might see this as some kind of having some kind of substance that or being able to relate to this, and you might be partnering up with this person to do something later on. There is a life force here. The Ace of Cups is also a gift of a baby. You know, it's the baby, emotional baby of the tarot. And that emotional baby can be a physical baby. It can be something that you're really excited about, that brings you almost emotional joy and happiness to be a part of, to create. It's art, and it's most smallest seed form, and like I said, we have the seeds of the stars. The subconscious mind is connecting the dots. It's seeing all the plans that have been set in place, all the dreams, and it's seeing how much manifestation power, how much wild kind of divine masculine force needs to be used, how much life force needs to be used in energy to create. And it seems like you create something that's a little bit bigger than what you might have dreamed about. Or it might seem insignificant now, but the dream holds more merit than you initially, or the plans that you put in place hold more merit than you initially thought they ever would. Oops. Well, on that note, yeah, very heavy Leo and Taurus. We're in the time of We're in the time of Leo now, right? Going into Virgo. I should know this off the top of my head. I'm forgetting the days now. But, so this could take place from now until May of next year. So within the next year, this month you'll see the signs of this coming into play. But next year around this time, you'll see something. You might have had a psychic impression about something that you started. And it will all come forth around for you in May by next year. It could also be during the time of the sun being in Gemini, which is right before the time of the sun being Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So, but it's probably going to come around next spring for you. If it is a relationship, this person could be a Gemini. They could be a Taurus or a Leo. I do get Aquarius too, like I said, Aquarius and Pisces. I will say Pisces here, because there's a lot of cups and the High Priestess is here. And the Woman card of the Lenormand. Alright guys, this is all I'm getting for right now. Also, if you are into making wreaths, anything that's like a wall decorative thing, I see those being something that goes well for you, or you start to do that more often as a creative form. You might be making them for friends or something. That's something random that comes up. I also see pennies, coins. So if you collect coins, this could have a little bit of significance. Any kind of Aztec or Native American ancestral line, whatever you do, like if you create dream catchers or anything like that, getting involved in something that your ancestors did thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. Hey, heck, if it was even your grandmother, the way she cooked something, this is something that I see for you, that would be helpful for you, or that you will be doing in this time period. All right, guys. Have a great September. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Pile number 3. For those of you who chose pile number 3 for your September 2022 reading, this is for you. You chose the Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye is a fiery Leo, Capricorn, manifestation, hard work, intention, drive, and focus stone, I believe. So, yeah, there's, it's powerful. It's a very powerful protective stone as well. The start of something you can't see that's confusing, the start of confusion for you, is what your Lenormand cards are saying. It's also saying new beginnings that you can't see, or you might see them, but you don't know, you're confused as to how they're going to play out. This could have to do with a child who is troubled. It could have to do with starting therapy for depression. There's a dreaminess, so this could be like nightmares, childhood nightmares. The start of having nightmares for some reason is coming through. And I think that's mostly because Neptune and Pisces here. Neptune and Pisces. Neptune is at home in Pisces. Let's talk about astrology for a second. We'll backtrack. There's a dreaminess here, an escapism. So a child could have their head up in the clouds as well, or you could have had your head up in the clouds as a child or since childhood about something. I'm seeing clouds here. I'm seeing clouds here. I'm also seeing like a lot of dreaminess with the astrology of this stuff. The moon is here, dreams at night. So there's a lot of psychic kind of stuff going on as well too. Pile 2 also had a lot of psychic energy coming through their cards. Yeah, having new beginnings that are shrouded in confusion. Not being able to see things through also might be something to do with that. I see that I do feel like therapy might be happening for a few of you, because there is the kind of self-care of the Oracle card. There's the reflecting and kind of going through past energies of the psyche and the subconscious mind. And the clouds card's kind of a troubles and mental energy, mental anguish as well. And we know therapy is like us reflecting on our inner mental state. So, and kind of connecting those. But the good thing is the child card denotes that there's a new beginning around the corner with whatever. So even if it is confusing, there's a new start coming up for you. I see that this kind of internal examination that you might be doing about the cycles within yourself that might be also showing externally in your life will have something to do with love and your passions. This could be the love of a partner. It could be your love for certain purposes or connections in your life. I do see the swan as more of a partnering card because it mates for life, and it's about that super important connection that could come into place with yourself as well, because we have the mirror magic card. An important relationship with yourself is being established here. You are either doing self-care and going to therapy in order to help the self and learn to love yourself more, or you are learning to love yourself more so that you can actually share that love with someone else. There also could be an understanding that patterns of relationships of the past haven't quite been working the way you were taught that they should, and so therefore you are seeking time to reflect on what you really desire and the types of partnerships, or the availability that you have within yourself to partner with somebody else. I see 3 shadows flying above these 2 swans. So there could be other options involved. The swan card is kind of like the lovers in the tarot, where decisions need to come into place about what we truly desire for ourselves, and maybe potentially the others in our lives as well. The pearl of wisdom I see in the middle comes from, it's also a very female and anatomical kind of depiction. So it could have to do with a child being created from the process of 2 opposite energies coming together to create something else external to themselves. So there is this divine guidance, I want to say, divine energy that's helping guide you through making this decision, or you will feel like the support of the universe if you connect in and meditate or take the time within yourself to understand what's going on within you, so that you can then understand what you might be projecting on a situation, or what others might be projecting on you towards a situation that you're involved in. And that will help you make better decisions on and grasp clarity on this confusing new start that you're in. Now, there is an element of marriage here. There's many different things. I get, because of the protection power stone that you picked, and the divine masculine energy that this exudes, this stone. It's about being powerful, feeling protected, feeling like you can protect yourself, because you're connected to a greater power. There is within your tarot some sort of enlightenment, a moment of clarity, a moment of understanding a great truth. This is a divine truth. This would not be something that was just an opinion. This would be something that holds a lot of emotional energy in your life, or spiritual energy in your life. Meaning like something that is been a very pivotal part of your life will die and be reborn as something else, meaning that there will be an idea of how to live, a concept of lifestyle, something that made up a big part of who you are will be brought to a reckoning within you. And you will receive a divine download from the universe that will help you to rise up and ascend along your journey to understanding what it is that needs to change or that has changed, and to embrace that new divine inspiration, I'll say. In the smallest of terms, or the smallest of kind of context for this, you might be starting therapy. You might have had depression issues. You go in, you do a lot of self-reflection with this partnership or about a partnership with a therapist or somebody, or a counselor, or healer of some kind. And through this process, you end up having a great epiphany, a great realization of what has been going on in your life, and it forever changes you, because you've risen to the understanding of a spiritual change within yourself, or you've overcome a spiritual challenge within your life. Now, the Justice card being there, this could have to do with the diplomacy of a situation, the balance and harmony within a situation, the judiciary, legal involvement of a situation. There is a weighing up of what is fair and just within the universe. Now, these are your two heaviest hitting cards. So when it comes to these two cards, most of the time, if there is a legal situation and they're both in the upright, there will be some evidence will come forward that will completely change the direction of this testimony, of this thing, and there will be balance and justice created by this. In terms of a love relationship, there will be a great realization that somebody completes you as their opposite half. This person could be a Libra or a Gemini or a Pisces. I see those signs. Scorpio also comes in here. And then because there's the lover, we have the lovers. I consider the Swan card, Love Fiercely, the lovers card of the Animal Oracle deck that it is. There is also the Two of Cups. This relationship might have started out being very romantic and very sweet and innocent, and the Two of Cups is kind of like the sexy kind of romantic like card of the, it's like the twin flame card of the tarot, I guess, if I even understand what twin flame is correctly. But Love Fiercely, the Swooper Swan, is the soulmate card, the lifelong partner card, whether that be a friendship, whether realizing that somebody is a divine counterpart that was destined to be in your life. This situation was destined to happen for you in your life. If this is going into therapy after divorce, its advice is to stay in your power, stay strong. You are protected. If this is about a lover and you wanting to get to the next step, but you're very confused as to the legality, involving the legalities of things, making it mundane and practical, this spiritual information, this realization of love. It's saying to choose to have something to hold on to make concrete, but not be too possessive within that, because the Four of Pentacles can be about holding on to something very tightly because we've gotten situated now. We don't want to lose what we've gotten, the stability that we've gotten. We might be used to the status quo. This is what this is saying. Used to the status quo of something, and now there is a realization that things need to be divvied up or changed in some way within a partnership or a dynamic that could cost us something, whether it's our personal freedom, whether it's maybe it's some of our personal freedom. Maybe it's the fact that we are letting go of an old part of ourselves that we've just become accustomed to and we don't want to let go of. There is an element of not wanting things to change with the Four of Pentacles. But we're realizing that just can't happen in a relationship, so we have to divide and divvy up the energy of our life to accommodate somebody else. This could be a child that you didn't know was coming. And you are having some kind of a little bit of a psychological assessment on yourself of, can I handle this? Will this be good for me? Will I be good for this? This is all comes into play with this reading. So Neptune and Pisces, the idealism of a spiritual experience. Neptune and Pisces can be a little bit too much of a let's do some drugs, man, and like get lost in another universe. It's also the confusion about your psychic gifts or trusting your own psychic gifts. Because you have an idea that you might be questioning, and you're wondering where it's coming from. If you have a nudge, this is a gut feeling. This is the gut feeling that you can't explain. This is the, the sixth sense. This is the divine coming forth within you and shocking you by letting you know that it's there. Letting you know a piece of information that normally you wouldn't have known. That changes you forever. So you might just have the inkling about something, about buying a home, for instance, if this is about moving in with a partner and getting a home, a bigger home, because you're having a baby. Trust your instincts. Don't overindulge in the idealism of being spiritually connected, because within the context of the situation, you will be connected spiritually through the physical manifestations that you create from this knowledge that you receive, taking action on this knowledge you receive. So balance is needed in this situation. You can have all of the spiritual energy you want, but if you don't have the intention and the drive and the focus to put it into play and make it into something real, it won't come. Nothing will come of it. So trusting your intuition is important, but making those ideas that come of it into a reality. So you are being asked to rise to the occasion this month period about any kind of self-reflection, partnership dynamics, legal decisions or situations, regarding love or partnership and business. There's a huge psychic hits you'll be getting and also you might be communicating about ideas you had intuitively with other people. That could be around you as well. If you get any hits about people that are around you this month that tell you, oh no, that's not a good person for me, trust that, because if that's coming through here, your third house is the house of Gemini, right? So Gemini speaks of your who is around you in your immediate environment, your siblings. So if you have any hunches about your siblings, what's going on with your siblings, or your immediate environment, or how you're thinking about things in terms of the short term, and short-term trips as well, and travel. There's a lot of brainstorming that's going to be happening this month from the spiritual world. So if you are a writer, this would be a great time for you to get down and really kind of brainstorm. Write everything down. Don't forget any ideas. Put it all out there. This is also a card, I would say, about understanding the internal world and expressing that outwardly, making decisions that express that outwardly. So I think that's really cool that you've got this almost dream that you are making into a tangible reality for yourself, whether it's a new home, whether it's a new business, whether it's a new project that will end up being a part of your career. You're starting things that you might not understand right now. You might not see your way to the end of them right now, but they will come into focus. You will have the realizations you need to make the decisions that are best for you, yourself, and others, and your finances, your resources. Thank you so much, and have a great September, and I'll see you in October.